white doesn't have a pawn on e4, and at the same time black doesn't have a knight on f6. Is a kingside defender worth more than a pawn? We are going to see a game by Grandmaster Ding Liren, a world champion, the current world champion from China, and with the black pieces is playing Lu Shangli. Lu Shangli actually won the World Junior Chess Championship in the year 2014. He actually won the tournament in my home city of Pune. So yeah, both of them are strong grandmasters from China, Ding and Lu Shangli. And Ding opens with knight f3. Black plays knight f6, c4, and we have the queen's gambit on the board. Okay, the opening transposes to queen's gambit. Whenever you have d4, c4 and d5 on the board, this is the queen's gambit opening. White plays the move knight c3, developing the knight, and black gobbles the c4 pawn. Now whenever black gobbles the c4 pawn, it is known as queen's gambit accepted, because black has accepted white's gambit with the move c4. Ding plays the move e4, taking control of the center. Now that there is no d5 pawn here, black plays bishop b4, pinning this knight, and white simply gobbles this c4 pawn with bishop c4. But with the move bishop c4, remember there is nobody to guard the e4 pawn. This knight is pinned by the bishop. So black gobbles this e4 pawn, and if you see, black right now is already up material. Black has one extra pawn in this position. But in this game, Ding Liren, knowing that he is a pawn down, he simply decides to castle and sacrifice one more pawn. Okay, so black can capture this knight on c3, bc3, bishop c3. Black is up 2 pawns. But in reality, this position is very, very bad for black. In fact, the engine says that this position is lost for black. The problem for black is that after rook b1, white's pieces are going to come very, very quickly into the game. And the black king doesn't know where it's going to castle or where it's going to find safety. For example, if the king goes to short castle, there is rook b3 hitting the bishop. Let's say the bishop moves, there is knight g5. There is this rook joining the attack, this queen will join, and there's going to be a big attack on this king. Okay, so which is the reason why most players wouldn't capture on c3. And in fact, after the move short castle, there's a crazy stat that white has won 57% of the games according to my database. And 57% in an opening is a very, very big number. Like out of 100 games, 57 have been won by white from this position. Black took the knight, bc3 happened, and instead of taking this pawn, black retreats with the move bishop to e7. Now if you notice, white doesn't have a pawn on e4, and at the same time black doesn't have a knight on f6. That gives white some chances to create an attack on the king side, and he plays the move knight e5. Black short castles, and this marks the beginning of a very strong attack for white, starting with the move queen to g4. Remember, there is no knight on f6, which means there is nobody to cover these squares, and because of that, the white queen comes into the game very quickly, and all the other white pieces also come into the attack very, very quickly. If there was a knight here, it wouldn't be so easy for white to launch an attack. So queen g4 happened. Black plays the move c5, trying to strike at the center and hoping that somehow by destroying the center, he can have a few exchanges in the middle of the board, and that can help him relieve the pressure that is being created here. But white is relentless. White plays the move bishop h6 and threatens a checkmate here. This pawn is pinned. Black has to defend it. Black plays the move bishop f6. The bishop guards this one. And once again, white brings another piece into the attack with the move bishop to d3. Now this bishop is taking aim at this h7 square and keeping an eye on, the black king side. Remember, black cannot capture the knight. Yeah, please don't play this. Otherwise, black ends up getting checkmated. So black cannot capture this knight as well. So in the game, black decides to play rook e8, making room for their king. And at the same time, in the future, if they want to play g6, this rook will not be hanging. So rook e8 happened. Now in the position, white decides to play a move that accomplishes multiple attacking goals. Can you find out? Okay, white plays a move that allows them to pursue multiple goals at the same time. Okay, so in the game, white plays the move f4. Now the idea of f4 is, first of all, it allows the rook to be lifted from the third rank. It allows a rook lift, and at the same time this pawn protects this knight on e5. Okay, so that if, let's say, in the future black decides to capture here, white can play fe5 and open the file for the rook. Also, another idea could be, if given a chance, white would love to play f5 at the right time, not right now, at the right time, white would love to play f5 and just open this f file for the rook. Now in this position, black could capture c into d4. What will you play after c into d4? Okay, if you want, you can pause, calculate for, let's say, 2 minutes. There is a very beautiful sacrifice that white has. That's a hint. And yeah, just try to find out what will white play after c into d4. So in this position, white plays the move bishop into h7. Beautiful sacrifice, getting rid of black's king cover. And after king into h7, white sacrifices another bishop into g7. Boom. And white has just exposed the black king by destroying their pawn cover. After bishop into g7, there is this check, and this rook jumps into the game. Rook h3 is a very deadly threat, and there is no way for black to defend against it. So this was the dangerous idea. So c into d4 doesn't work, which is why in the game, to stop bishop h7 from happening, black plays the move g6. Now what will you play? This move is kind of easy to find, because you know, you have a queen, you have a knight, and you have a bishop positioned perfectly, okay, in the perfect spot to attack the king. What will you play? Okay, so in the game, white plays the move bishop into g6, destroying the king side pawn cover. Okay, just completely destroying it. Remember, black cannot capture the knight because it would allow check, and yeah, this rook would also come into the game, and on the next move there is simply a checkmate. So this doesn't work. So instead, after bishop into g6, black plays the move f into g6, and now one more sacrifice on the g6 square with the move knight to g6. H into g6 happens, queen into g6. White has sacrificed two pieces. White has sacrificed a knight, white has sacrificed a bishop, but by doing so, they have completely destroyed black's pawn shelter. Okay, and this king is naked on the king side. It just has nobody to cover it. The king goes to h8, that's the only square left. And now white plays a very beautiful move. Very counterintuitive at first, but very beautiful. White plays bishop g5. And the idea is, white is first of all threatening to play bishop into f6 check. And another idea is that there is now nobody on the h file, which means this rook can simply come to f3. And on the next move, white is threatening to give a checkmate with the move rook h3. That's simple. Okay, so bishop g5, very dangerous move. Black had to take. White took back, and black plays the move rook e7. Now remember, in such positions, you can never go rook g8 and defend the queen, because there is always this queen h6 checkmate. Okay, this king has nowhere to escape. So which is why black plays rook e7, trying to defend along the 7th rank with the rook. White plays queen h6 check. Now black cannot play rook h7 because there is rook f8 winning the queen and also checkmating the black king. So black has to play the move king g8 forced. Now on the next move, black is threatening to go rook h7, and black is gonna start to harass this queen a little. So white plays a very beautiful move. Can you find it? Okay, white simply stop this rook from coming here. How can white do that? Very simple, with the move g6. This pawn covers this h7 square, and this rook can no longer come to h7. And now if you just pause for a minute, and if you take stock of the position, you'll notice that white is down 2 pieces, but at the same time, black's extra 2 pieces are nowhere to be seen in the game. They are very, very far away from action. Like, this king's house is completely burned, and these bishop and rook, they are just at some party, ignoring their king, not paying attention to the fact that the king is calling for help. But finally they wake up, and black plays the move knight d7. Now what will you play with the white pieces? Yes, white has a very strong attack, but it doesn't mean that the game is just over yet. Okay, you have to still convert your attack into a win. That's when the game is won. How can you do that with the white pieces? Okay, your queen needs some more support in this attack. So to get more support for the white pieces here, Ding plays the move rook f3. And now the idea is to get one more rook into the game and just throw everything that white has at this black king. Black goes knight f8, trying to bring this knight closer to the king and also trying to cover these squares. White simply brings one more attacking piece into the game. Very simple. And now there are just too many threats. White can go rook h3, threaten a checkmate here. Rook f7 can also be a deadly threat. Too many threats. So in the game, black decides it's time to eliminate the pawn. Black plays knight g6. White could capture on g6, but white sees a more dangerous continuation with the move rook to g3. Pinning the knight and attacking it, black plays rook g7. White simply gobbles the knight on g6. So after rook g6 happened, black stopped the clock and white won the game. You could argue that black could play queen e7, yes, but white simply brings one more attacking piece in the game. Rook f3, rook g3, and there is going to be more pressure on this rook. For example, you can play cd4, but white can simply go rook g3, and there is just too much pressure on this rook. Okay, rook takes, and at the minimum, white is winning a queen. And yeah, this is just a easily winning position. So after rook g6, white won the game. Black really missed the fact that they didn't have a defensive knight on f6. And because black didn't have this knight on f6, what happened was, if we go back a few moves, it allowed white's pieces to come into the game very, very easily. Like queen g4, and just one move, the queen comes into the best attacking position in front of the king. And excuse me, all these pieces are able to create a big attack against the king. So yeah, often the lack of a kingside defender can prove to be a very, very big handicap, a very, very big disadvantage. Not always, but in many cases it can be. So just remember to be very careful before you give up your kingside defender for, let's say, one of the opponent's pawns. And if on the other hand you are someone who gets the opportunity to get rid of the enemy's defender for one pawn, you could consider about it. You could think about it. So yeah, I hope this helps. Smash that like button for Ding Liren for the beautiful game that he played. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Over 90% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribers. Please don't do that. It really helps me when posting these videos. And if you liked watching this, you'll also like watching this game by Ding Liren, where he plays the best game of 2017. Go check it out.